Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Prof. Fuad and friends. Today, Pak Yayan and I are going to share Chapter 2 of Criterion Reference Language Testing book entitled Curriculum-Related Testing. This chapter covers 3 issues, namely the component of language curriculum design, the relationship between objectives and criterion reference testing, fitting assessment to curriculum. I will talk the first issue, which is the component of language curriculum design, while Pak Yayan will cover the last 2 issues. I'd like to start my presentation by sharing the basics of curriculum-related testing or curriculum-based testing. According to Johnson, 2011, curriculum-based testing is interrelated with curriculum-based assessment. He used the term curriculum-based assessment testing. Some theories use other terms for curriculum-based assessment, such as curriculum-based evaluation, criterion reference curriculum-based assessment, criterion reference assessment, and curriculum-based measurement. So, what is curriculum-based assessment or CBA? CBA was introduced in the 1980s. CBA highlights that the essential measure in education is the student's progress in the curriculum of the local school. It offers a system for using curriculum as a diagnostic tool and provides a format for management of instruction. CBA describes the practice of using what is to be learned as the basics for assessing what has been learned. Then, how do people view CBA? Jones, Southern, and Bigram, 1993, states that CBA has shown positive effects on the achievement of students with special needs for the past 15 years. Thus, CBA is very popular in the field of special education. Furthermore, Edward, Kickling, and Thompson, 1985, claim that CBA is effective in promoting good classroom performance, especially with the mainstream, low-achieving children and those with attention deficit disorder. CBA can also be applied in other fields to provide an opportunity for teachers to conduct pre-tests before instructions begin. Tyndall, 1993, highlights that all model of CBA appears very closely aligned with the criterion reference testing in their definitions of specific domain, strategies for selecting items from those domains, and particularly in establishing level of mastery that are used to control progress through a curriculum. This indicates that the topic being discussed is interrelated with CBA. Now, it is time for me to share about the first issue, components of language curriculum. In developing a language curriculum, there are 6 components which we need to include. First, needs analysis. Second, developing goals and objectives. Third, designing tasks. Here we consider how to put norm reference tasks and criterion reference tasks into place. Fourth is adopting and adapting as well as creating materials. Fifth, designing activities to support teachers in their efforts to achieve the objectives and goals. The last component is evaluating the other 5 components in formative and summative ways. So, which curriculum components involve testing? Is it only in testing component? Well, let's go through each component in detail. The first component of language curriculum development is needs analysis. The role of testing in analyzing needs includes various kinds of tests: proficiency, placement, diagnostic, and achievement. This test aims to collect information on the language forms that the students need to use in a target language. The result provides data on students' ability in a particular language. The second component test is developing goals and objectives. Here, testing serves as to make goals and objectives observable. Well-designed criterion reference tests can serve to operationalize a set of objectives. Thus, testing can be used to evaluate the efficacy of objectives as a whole and the effectiveness of each objective. When we design a set of tests for our program, putting appropriate norm reference tests and criterion reference tests into place help in improving the tests themselves. Testing can also be used to check effectiveness, credibility, and validity of the test, as well as to ensure if the tests match a particular curriculum objective. Selecting materials for a language program is not that easy, although we can adopt and adapt the materials. Even quite often, we need to create materials. Thus, testing can assist curriculum designers to confirm that materials implemented in a curriculum is appropriate and match with the objectives, which is usually done in the beginning of the course. Testing can also be a tool to examine the effectiveness of the materials to help learners achieve the objective, which are done at the end of the course. Teachers need to conduct testing to support their efforts in helping students achieve the objective of the program. Thus, testing can be done to check the effectiveness of the teaching method, monitor students' understanding toward the topic, gather information on students' abilities in following the program. In developing language curriculum, evaluation is one of the components. So the program should be evaluated to check all the other 5 components. Thus, testing can be done in several or for several purposes, such as confirming that the students' needs are accurate, ensuring the objectives are appropriate, checking reliability, validity, and practicality of the test, guaranteeing that the materials fit each course's objective and the needs of students, and certifying the effectiveness of the teaching. Next, Pak Yayan will share with us about the last 2 issues in this chapter. Pak Yayan, the screen is yours.